Oh, just give us one moment here to get everyone in the class. Okay, I think that's a good start. Hi, my name is Emily. I'm the wholesale manager here at Meadowbrook Gourds, and with me I have Amber.
Yep. And I am a gourd beautician that we call. So I do a lot of what we're going to be doing tonight. I pretty much put everything together and make it come to life and make it look pretty.
Yeah. So today, thank you all for joining us. Today we are going to learn how to make Theodore turkey, which I think you have over here.
too.
Sure. So there is our sample for the class. So you'll notice that I did mute all of the sound coming from your computers at the moment. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions at any point throughout. That is totally fine. We actually really enjoy all of your questions, even if it's not related to the class. Before we get started, Amber's going to go over all of the parts and pieces and also give you a chance to fill up a water dish and get a couple supplies. Would you like to go over that, Amber?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Emily said, go ahead and grab yourself a water dish if you don't already have one. We do use like a good bit of that. You'll also want a plate to put some of your paints on.
Which we are missing, so I will go get them.
Okay. You could paper towels, baby wipes. So if you have baby wipes, some of you might not, but that's okay. They are very handy as well to get like the paint and stuff off of your hands. But in the meantime, while Emily goes and gets the plates, I'm gonna go ahead and go over all of the parts just to make sure everybody has them and just kind of explain some of them. So as the gourd portion of it, you should have your base here with the pumpkin cut out and your tail that is rubber band on. You do not need that rubber band. So you can actually go ahead and take that rubber band off. That rubber band is there just to hold the tail in so that with shipping, thank you, it didn't come out. So that's the only reason we have the rubber band. So you can take your tail out. So you should have a tail and your base. You should have your little head that has the eyes and the mouth on there already. And that's it with the gourd parts. You should have these wooden wings. So they're gonna go in the sides of this here. You should have your wattle, which is this red piece. The little heart is gonna be the beak. And then you should have your hat. And on that hat, there's going to be these three berries that we're going to twist around and put it on the hat. You should have your raffia that will go around the neck. And then you should have all of your paints, which you should have 3 orange and then 2 brown and then 1 of the white. So all of these should be all together. And you just want to make sure that you remember this here is the white. These 2 containers here are going to be your glue. So you don't want to try and paint this on your cord.
Okay.
And then you should have your paintbrush. And then 2 Q-tips and a toothpick. And I think I got everything. Oh, and you will have a light in yours as well. That did come in it. So we just set that to the side and that's to light it all up after we're all done. So
Great.
Everybody okay with that? Everybody have everything?
Wonderful. Okay. But I've been waiting to craft this for, I feel like months. So I'm very excited.
This one is super cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start painting.
Great.
The head doesn't take a whole bunch. The head is actually just natural. So we're not actually going to paint this, but what I do want to let you know is you are more than welcome to use other paints from like your house. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing and make it look exactly like this. So you can kind of make it your own. But I'm gonna go ahead and start painting the bottom base here. And I'm going to just open up one of my orange paints and just start at it. I am going to just make my paintbrush a little wet, not like too wet, but it just helps the paint to go on just a lot better. So I just like to dip it to get it like a little bit, but not dripping wet.
So we want to thin out the paint just a little bit.
Very little. And I'm honestly just going to, I'm gonna move this guy.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take my one whole container and just dump it right out onto the plate.
Yeah, we'll probably use all of it. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. So at Meadowbrook, we use latex paint for most of our painting or leather dyes. But gourds are a lot like wood. So you could use acrylic craft paint, house paint, anything that you have lying around will work.
Yeah. So to hold this, I'm just going to stick my hand up underneath here, which you can hold it however you would like, but that's just how I'm going to hold it. And I'll just start painting.
Now, Amber, will we want to get into all of the little crevices here of the cutout?
That's completely up to you and how you want to do it. I think I will. I think it makes it look more complete if I get in there, just because when you're running over your paintbrush of the cutout, you're going to get some of that paint in there anyway. And so I think it kind of just looks a little messy if I don't get the inside. So I normally just take my paintbrush and like get in there, but you could also take one of your Q-tips to get in there as well.
Okay.
But your paintbrush should work.
Is it okay if the paint is not giving me like full coverage at this moment?
Yes. Yeah, you should still be able to see the gourd through the paint there. And that's okay. So with this turkey, we are actually going to put brown streaks in them. So it actually doesn't need like a fully solid paint job, but I think I still want us to go ahead and do 2 coats.
Okay.
Just to make sure it's good and covered. And you just want to watch too, when you're going over the pumpkin cutout, it's inevitable, you will get paint lodged in the little cracks. And I just like to take my paintbrush in and get it out just to make it look a little bit cleaner.
Okay. I guess you could use your toothpick for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the only real difference between wood and gourds that I've noticed is that wood can be a lot more porous.
Yes.
But otherwise, we use a lot of the same techniques you would use
on wood.
Wood.
Yep.
You'll see that on your turkey head, it has been wood burn. Is that something you would have done, Amber?
Yes, that's something that I do in the back, but on these turkeys themselves, the crafters actually will wood burn the eyes, which is different because normally they don't do the eyes on stuff, but they do on these turkeys, which is super nice. One less thing that we don't have to do.
So we are the largest gourd farm in the world, but there's not very many of us. So we're still just a small team of about 18 people. And though I work in the office in sales, we are a small but mighty team, and everyone kind of wears all sorts of hats here. But Amber was mentioning how we have crafters that are people that make all of the really awesome cutting on the gourds, and they do that by hand with a jigsaw. And then when they're done being cut, Amber, they'll get painted by our painting team, and then Amber will accessorize and put everything together. She makes it all come to life.
Yes. And I love it.
So what were you working on today at work, Amber?
So today I was finishing up some of our Cyber Monday stuff.
Oh,
So I was doing some gnomes, and then I was working on penguins and reindeer.
we have our Cyber Monday sale from the Friday after Thanksgiving till the Tuesday after. And we have a lot of really cool limited designs that are releasing for that. So that's what they're busy crafting right now. So we're really, really excited to release them and see what everyone thinks.
Yeah, they are super, super, super cute. I love them.
We have a really cool penguin that I saw that is about the size of this turkey.
Yep.
And he has a really cool speckling painting detail. And I love him.
That's what I was working on today, was him. And he is very cute.
So we actually have over 300 designs that we craft every year. And then we always add those little special things in there too. And I'm sure that makes your job interesting because
it does.
It's a whole new thing to work on.
Because I have to also figure out how to put it together because I'm not the one that puts the originals together. So it comes to me already, one already done, and then I have the pieces that need to be done, and so I have to kind of figure out how they did it, whoever made it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. These little wing slits and then also the little tail hole in the back, you do not need to get your paint in there.
Okay.
But I will say you want to make sure it's not super gloppy in there because we do need to still get like the wing and the tail in, and it'll make it a little tighter. You also do not need to paint the very top rim here, and you don't have to paint inside the bottom as well. So just the front of the gourd itself. And I feel like by the time I get done with one side, the other side's gonna be dry.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like this is something you could let just one coat on if you like it, but then you could also, I feel like I'm gonna do 2 coats just to make it a little bit more orange, to bring that color out a good bit. But honestly, because we're gonna go back with the brown and put some like brown streaks in it, just to make it look a little bit more like their feathers.
And if you're struggling with the paint getting a little bit globby in the cutouts, I have found if I just put a little bit more water on my brush and water down the paint, it will absorb into that raw part of the gourd. Nice and easy, and clean that up really, really nice.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi. So do you always make like similar things that light up? Are there like different types of things that you make for different seasons?
Yes. I hear we have someone that might be a little bit new. Yay. Yes, we have over 300 designs for every season. So we have dogs, cats, a coastal line, a fall line, which is what you would think gourds are for, and then also a winter line. So in our fall line, we have turkeys and jack-o'-lanterns and witches and ghosts, and for
a
Christmas,
lot of the stuff that you see behind us.
Yes, that's all fall right there. We're actually in our, we have a 7,000 square foot gift shop here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and that's where we are right now. And for winter, we have Santas and snowmen and angels. So yes, what if you can make it out of a gourd, we have made it or are trying to make it. And every year,
how many gourds do you grow? Like, how big is this gourd farm? Like, tell me everything.
Yes, we have 200 acres on our farm here in Pennsylvania. And we grow other crops as well, including every fall we do 50 acres of free sunflowers that you can come and pick. But we grow only about 20 to 30 acres of gourds every year. And we just yield a really good crop. And because the hard shell gourds, the variety that we use, once they are hardened, they are good just like wood. As long as we take care of them and keep them out of moisture, they'll last 100 years. So we can grow in surplus every year, and then we use them as needed. So yes, we yield thousands of gourds.
It's a lot
out of that 20 acres. Anything from really, really giant gourds that are, this size to little tiny eggs that are this size. And we actually hand pick them out of the field. They're doing that right now. They're cutting them all off of the vine and letting them by hand, and then they sort them into rows, and they'll sit out there all winter long to harden and dry so that they come out looking like this. Yes. So and we do all of that here on our farm with our little team of 18 people.
Yes.
Did that answer your question? Do you have any more? I'm happy to answer them.
Yes, that answered my question. That's awesome. And what a fun job. This looks amazing. It looks like you're in Santa's workshop.
Yes. It's I think we all feel very blessed. It's a very happy place to work because all of our designs we try to make them all happy and cheerful. And we all wear a lot of hats, and this time of year is very, very busy for us, but it's
so busy.
It's enjoyable.
Wow.
So we have our gift shop here on the farm, but if you're not in this area, we also sell to gift shops all throughout the US and even internationally. So we have gift shops in every state. So there may be one close to you, most likely. If you ever wanted to purchase one in person or see some of them in person. On our website, we also offer, if you like the crafting of the gourd, we offer craft kits that you could do at your own pace as well, that come with instructions. And a lot of people like that because gourd people are a little crazy. We're a little crazy, but it's addictive. And so you might get a little addicted and become a little crazy like us.
No.
Oh, I have.
Huh.
I drive my own room, driving,
Wow.
made birds houses.
Yeah.
Oh.
We do these classes twice a month, right? Yeah. And I see some very familiar names. So a lot of people come and do most of our classes, which is really great. It's nice to craft with you all every time we do them.
And we enjoy doing them. Like, we love that you guys keep, like, those that are new or those that are continue to buy them. Like, we love it. Like, so continue to buy them.
So we can keep doing it. Yeah.
Keep going.
So we can step away from our toddlers for a night and come and craft with you.
Yes.
Amber, I know you had mentioned that the paint was drying as you were going. Are we moving on to a second coat?
Yes. Yep, that's what I'm working on now. Mine is pretty good and dry for the most part, and I'm just going ahead and doing a second coat.
Okay.
And like I said, I am just continually to like dip my paintbrush, this very tip of it, into the water, just because, like I said, it just helps the paint go on a lot smoother, and it'll help take away streaks in your gourd. I know a lot of people have trouble with like getting the streaks out. The more water you use on it, the less it's going to be streaky, but you don't want to use too much water then, because it's going to take way more coats if you use too much water.
Now, a lot of people, and I'm included in this, don't like to cover the natural patina of the gourd entirely. So the patina is, all the variation in the color that you'll see. So if you wanted to keep it thinned down so that shows a little bit more, that is totally fine and completely up to you. Which I like to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of a second coat, but I like to show that so that it's obvious that it's a gourd.
Yes.
And that it's natural.
And what's really cool too is, like Emily was saying, you can still get the look almost as if it was stained or dyed with paint, which is really, really neat. And I've used that technique, which I think I might use that technique for the wings that we're going to do here. So I'll show you what I mean. buy that.
Those little pumpkin crevices are really fun, but I keep finding spots that I've missed. So as I mentioned, we are really busy here on the farm. This is like our very busy season of the year. Most people think of gourds for Halloween. Is there, you know, a cousin of the pumpkin. But winter is actually our busiest season. So we are busy crafting winter and have been for months.
Yes.
Actually, we're about to start crafting spring.
Yes, I see spring actually in our lines to be done. So,
But we also have a lot of events on our farm, and the events coming up are, like we mentioned, we have a Black Friday and Small Business Saturday sale here in our gift shop. And online we have a sale as well. It's up to 40% off of the designs. In the store, it's 25% off of everything. But we also in December have our Create Your Own events. I think it's December 2nd and 3rd.
I believe so. It's the first 3 weekends in December.
Yeah.
The third weekend isn't as open, isn't both days yet, I don't think.
Right. Yeah. So it was just the first 2 weekends in December, and that is where you can come in and craft like we are now. You can choose bodies and heads and make your very own piece with the help of people like Amber. They'll guide you through the whole process. You have access to all of our supplies, our wood burners, our dyes. We'll even spray paint our special spray onto the gourds for you. And you can make as many pieces as you want within your time slot.
Yeah.
It's super popular. We actually had sold out of our spots, and so we opened up the 3rd weekend. So if you were looking for spots for that, we just did that today. So
Okay.
yeah. So those are the big events for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Okay. So mine is still a little wet, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and explain how we do the streaks in it.
Okay.
So I do have a little bit of the orange on my plate, and I am gonna get out some of this brown. Actually, don't put any brown on your plate. So how I do these streaks, I will put orange on one side of the brush, and then I'll put brown on the other side of the brush. So I will dip my paintbrush in the orange on the side, and then I'm going to dip it into the brown on the other side. So it looks like one side's brown and one side is orange. So then I take it onto my plate and I dab it off for the most part, just so it's not like super globby. And then I take it and just brush right along, and it leaves like little streaks of brown. I don't know if you can see that.
So
It's
maybe
like,
show the sample if I can grab it off.
yeah.
So there are, just to make it look a bit rustic,
Yeah.
some streaks along it.
But that's how I do that.
That's good to know. Okay, and should I water down my brush at all?
Yeah, I would. Just it makes it smoother. Like it's yeah.
Wasn't sure if it was more of like a dry brush technique or.
Nope.
Okay, perfect.
It just helps it go onto the gourd better if you have your brush a little bit wet.
Do you have any tips for if I accidentally glob a little too much brown on there? Because I'm a little scared that I might do that.
Yes. So, like I said, if you just dip your paintbrush into that brown paint and then you actually just do, like if you watch what I'm doing, just do this with it, that'll actually take that right off and you won't actually make it super globby. But if that happens, all I would do is let it dry and then I would go over it with your orange again.
Okay.
And that should work.
And if you don't like how harsh the lines are, you could dry off your brush a little bit and feather it in.
Mm-hmm. And you can make them as dark or as light as you want. And to make them lighter, you just add a little bit more water.
Okay. I like your technique for that, Amber. It's working out great.
Good.
Do you have any products that you work on that you do any specialty painting on here? Because we actually have two painters. One of them is my husband who do the dyeing and the painting. So you don't do most of that, but
Right.
do you do any of the painting in your?
So I will sponge. So our sponging technique, a lot of our snowmen have that. And it's just like a texturized, so they will actually spray a light mist of that white paint color. And then I will go back through with a sponge with that same white color and I will sponge that onto the gourd. So that's like pretty much what coloring I do. Now we do have products, especially in our spring line, that we will actually sponge multiple colors on there. And that is fun. It's a lot, but it is fun. Just because you get to see, like, I don't know, it's just, I will say too that the new penguin that we have is a really cool technique as well. Which is a little bit different because I do have to sponge. It's a black penguin, of course. So I sponge black like we do with our white, but then I also go back and put like white specks in it, and it's super, super cute.
Yeah, I know that we've been teaching these classes for about 3 years on Zoom, and we've received a little bit of feedback on people want to see a little bit more of our techniques such as sponging. So that is something that we are working on for 2024. It's bringing you more classes that show a little bit more complex painting techniques and assembly techniques that Amber would be doing back in her workspace.
So I just want to explain what I'm doing next. I'm just making mine look, I'm making it a little bit more unique than the original. So the original was just like this. This was it. I'm gonna go through back and put a little bit of the white color into my orange to get a little bit of a brighter orange to also put in there. Just to give it a little bit different look. I don't want white, so that's why I'm not gonna just put white streaks in it. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I want to see how this looks. I might have to do it too.
So I'm still gonna have that orange on my brush, but then I'm also gonna have that little lighter bit of orange on the other side. If it does anything. Oh yeah.
Can you show the camera?
Yeah. So that's what it'll look like with the white in with the orange.
Very cool.
Yeah. Just gives it a little bit more texture.
Also, we are starting to plan our classes for next year. Our Zoom classes and our in-person classes. So if you have any ideas of what you would like to craft, maybe it's something that you see in our catalog that you really like, or something entirely different. We are always open to suggestions, because if we can make it on the gourd, we'll try.
Oh yeah.
We are actually, so we cut about 20% of our catalog every year and make new designs that are available, and we retire that 20%. This year, I think we did closer to 30%. We were just very excited about a lot of new designs. So Amber has to learn a lot of new techniques for her designs.
I did. But that's okay.
And we do everything in-house. So our designer's our photographer, and I help with all of that, and I do our website and our catalog, everything we do here. But that's what I've been busy doing, is getting our catalog ready, and I'm so excited. We have some really neat new owls that we're releasing and a hippo.
Yep.
The hippo is adorable, and that was something that was requested by customers. So we made it happen. So
Yes, I'm excited.
there's some really neat things. I can't wait to show them off next year.
I'm gonna add some darker orange too.
So what other kinds of items are there? So there's like the light up ones, are there like night lights? Are there, I see there might be like an actual lamp.
So the lamps that you see are just regular lamps, but you can
Okay.
make lamps out of gourds. It's just something that we don't personally do. There are a
Okay.
lot of people that do that, and you can buy a gourd and a lamp kit and make your own. It's super easy.
Okay.
But most of our gourds are, our whole goal is to craft items that make people smile. So a lot of them are these gourd luminaries that light up. And then we have just little tabletop decor that doesn't light up. We have some that are able to be lit by tea light. We make ornaments for Christmas trees. But mostly that is our goal, is to focus on creating tabletop designs that most of them light up, are luminaries, or pieces that you can sit on a shelf and look at and make you smile. I believe we have attempted lamps before, but some of our limitations are that we ship all over the world, and a lot of our designs have to be designed so that they can ship in one piece, because it is a natural product and it can be very fragile.
Yeah.
So lamps fit into that category of, can we ship it to Italy and will it survive? And unfortunately, that's a no. So, but yes, they are quite easy to make.
So cool.
Thanks. I'm pretty pleased. It's very
Yeah.
subtle. I tried to keep some of my the patina of the bird showing, but look, I've been really excited about this one since I think it was like the end of August the last time we did a class together, and I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do that class. So we do classes, myself, Amber, and our retail store manager, Dory. And Dory and I kind of trade off, and I've been bugging her for a very long time about wanting to do this one.
Okay, so I'm actually all done with
Great.
painting this portion of the gourd. So I'm gonna just set this to the side,
Right.
and I'm gonna grab my wings. That's these pieces.
Okay.
And I'm gonna paint them brown. Now I do want to explain the like dyeing or staining technique.
Okay.
Because I think that's how I'm gonna do it. The sample here is pretty solid on the wing color. So you're more than welcome to do it that way. I think I'm gonna do mine a little bit more of like a stain technique. So to do that, if you're painting it solid, it's just solid. There's not much for me to explain with that. If you're doing it in the stain technique, you're gonna want to grab some of that brown paint and put it on your plate. And you're gonna want to really water it down, like a good bet. Almost as this
should be translucent
yeah.
on the plate.
Yep. And then you're just gonna take it and run your paintbrush over the wood there. And normally if mine gets, normally I can, you don't have to dip my paintbrush back into like what I made on the table. All I would have to do is dip it actually back in the water and go over it more, and it'll actually make it look a little bit. So that's what it'll look like. So it's just not as dark. If you go through and you do that and you want it a little bit darker, all you do is you add a little bit more paint into what's already watered down.
And you want both of the sides of these?
Yes, I would
And
do both sides.
The edges are already burned, so.
Yep.
So we actually have this business was founded by my father-in-law, who was a woodworker and farmer about 28 years ago, and kind of by accident he found some hard shell gourds, and being a wood crafter thought, oh, I could do something with these. But because of his love for woodworking, we have a wood shop, and so a lot of our wood accessories that you see on our gourds are made here, and all of these little pieces are as well. In fact, I think every piece that comes in this kit, aside from the dowel rod, we make here.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we don't make these here.
Well, yes.
But yeah, everything else.
We could find an efficient way to do it. We would.
Oh, mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we have a gentleman named Austin who makes all of our parts. He is great. And so the little top hat that you have, he makes thousands of those a year.
Yes, it's insane.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
My hat.
Oh.
I was gonna show them. It's okay. I'll find it eventually. So yeah, like Emily said, you want to paint both sides. And then after you get that all done, we are done with our paintbrush.
Great.
What I want to do, the only thing we need to do on, which I'm gonna clean. I got a good bit of paint and I don't want to get it on my head.
We're a little messy tonight.
A little bit. So I'm gonna have us put the little fleck in the eye. So you'll need your head, your white paint, and then a toothpick.
And now I see a few more people painting. How are we looking on painting, ladies? Are we feeling good? Do you need more time? Good. Okay, good. Thank you.
And take your time, even if you are still painting, if I go on to the next step, just kind of listen and you can do it at your own pace, but we can absolutely slow down or whatever you need. So let me just show you what we're gonna do. So if you can see on this guy, the little white speck in the eye is what we're gonna do. And all you do is you take your white paint and your toothpick, you dip the very end of the toothpick into the white paint. And then as you're looking at the eyes, you're gonna put it in the like 2 o'clock position as if you were looking at a clock on both of the eyes at the same space. And I'll show you here on mine. And that's it.
So you just poke.
Yep, you just completely.
Now, if you mess this up or you don't like them, you can use a paper towel, wet paper towel, or our preferred cleanup is baby wipes. And you can try again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, it looks like yours is a little bit outside of the wood burned area. So where we should do it?
So I like to try and keep it in the eye, but because so some of yours might be okay. Mine was just wood burned a little bit too deep, and with that it's hard to make it look proportionate. So with that I just put it like a little bit off of the side of the gourd, but typically I like to try and keep it in the actual black part, the wood burning part, like the original here.
Okay, great.
Looks good. And then
I love how it looks like a little face already. Now you fleck a lot of eyes
I do.
throughout the
Yes.
year, thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yes.
Do you use a toothpick for all
I
of
do.
those? A toothpick?
Yeah, so any of the wood burning eyes, we have to use a toothpick with a paint, just because we do have a little paint marker that is this same color, and we use that on our painted eyes. So, and the reason is because we've tried to use it on the wood burning and it actually just kind of
Absorbs in.
Yeah, like it kind of just like melts into the eye. And it just does not look good. It looks super messy. So we have to actually do this same exact technique on all of our wood burned eyes. It's a good question. Okay, so that is it with the paint. So we can go ahead and put our paints to the side. And we are going to glue things together.
All
Okay.
right.
So to glue things together, you'll need a glue pod and you'll need a cotton swab. And I'm going to stick with the head, and I want us to go ahead and just kind of finish the head out. And by doing that, we will glue our little beacon.
So that is the little yellow heart.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And how we're gonna glue that beacon is you're gonna take, we're gonna take the glue on, we're gonna dip it into your Q-tip into your glue, and you're gonna run it along the inside of the cutout. You will get it on the outside of the gourd, but that's okay. I normally just take my finger and wipe over that and put it down in.
Okay.
Tacky glue this is tacky glue, and it does dry clear. But if it's super globby, you'll still see it. So that's why we like to just kind of clean that up. So you can see my glue is just in the center there, or on the edges. And then when you go to glue your heart in, you want the top of the heart to actually go in the cutout of the mouth there. And I will show you. Just like that, so that the point is out.
Now this is Eileen's tacky glue. You can get it at Walmart, Michael's, any type of craft store. We use it because it's strong and dries clear. But it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to set. So you do have some wiggle room to get it in there and make sure that you like the way that it is. Do you use this glue in production?
We do, yes. So some of the different types of glues that we actually will use is this that we're using now, which is tacky glue. We use a lot of hot glue, and we use what we call Loctite or 416, which is also what we call scary glue. Because if you get it on yourself, you could potentially glue your fingers together. It's very, very, very sticky, it does its job.
So that's why we don't send that along, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And then we also use caulking to glue things together as well. So we use lots of different types of glue, but tacky glue and hot glue is our two main glues that we will use. So, okay. So I really want to glue our hat on, but I think what I want to do is twist these berries on. So I'm just taking them and like twisting them together at first. If you want to find those. And
Any rhyme or reason to it?
Nope.
Just twist them?
I just twist. Just to make them all one strand.
Mine are not cooperating. Hopefully you're having a better time than I am here.
That's okay.
It's a reason that I am customer support and sales.
Okay. And then once you get them all twisted together, you'll just take it around the hat, around the brim, and then you just simply twist it in the back.
And the back will be where you'll see a seam in the hat.
Yes.
So just make sure that that's what you have in the back.
Yep, and then it'll look just like this. Now on the original, there is some raffia on there. So if you want to add raffia to the hat, I would do that now. I am not going to add any raffia to the hat.
Okay, and if we were going to do that, we would just take a couple strands and wrap them around with
Yep,
this as
and
well?
tie it.
Excuse me, could I see the back of the hat again where you tied it together, please? Oh, okay, you kind of fed them in together. Okay.
Yes, yep, just twist it and then I just pushed them right down. So then once you get them onto the hat, I'm gonna have us, I want to glue our wings into the body first because I want to glue the heads on and then glue the hats on.
Okay.
Just because we are working with tacky glue. So it's gonna take a little bit to dry. So I want to go ahead and glue our wings in. You're gonna glue the wings in just like you glued the beak in. So you're gonna dip that Q-tip into the tacky glue and you're gonna run that tacky glue down the inside. And then I would just wipe off any extra that you get on the face of the gourd. And there's no right or wrong way to stick these wings in. So there's no front or back. It's just whatever you think looks good. And this little chunk here is what's going to go into the gourd in that little slit. Just like that. And it could be to potentially a tighter squeeze. But you just kind of wiggle and push
Okay.
to get them in. And you want them to sit flush with your gourd. So the tops here might have like a little bit of a gap, but that's okay. You just want at least this centerpiece that goes in to be flush.
Great.
Okay.
It's coming together.
Oh. So the tail. This is not painted on the original. So you are more than welcome to paint the tail if you would like to. But I'm going to explain how we glue it in. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Because it is just a natural tail. That's what the original is. Okay. And to do that, we are going to take our cotton swab again. Okay. And I'm going to put a decent amount in the actual hole. But then I'm also going to put some tacky glue on the actual gourd itself around the hole.
Can you better describe what a decent amount is?
Yeah, absolutely. I can show you.
Okay.
So you want it, I'll show you. So just like that. So you can see it's like,
So it doesn't, because the tail's covering it, it can be messy and
yes, this can
so
be
very
absolutely-
generous with the glue.
yes.
Okay.
Just so it gets a nice tight hold.
And if your glue slob is getting a little, sometimes they can kind of start to disintegrate a little bit. That's why there's two of them. So you're welcome to use the second one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our gluing is the only thing we'll need the Q-tips for, so absolutely you can use both of them.
Okay.
Okay. And then I like to grab my tail like this in my hand. just to give it a secure. And I put my palm of my hand right at the base here because these tails do have a tendency to break. So you do want to be gentle with them as you're pushing them in. And that's why I put most of my, I push mostly right here at the dowel rod. Okay, that'll help keep it from breaking. And all I'll do is I will wiggle and push that tail right in. It should go right in. And then I'll set the gourd down and I will just bring this tail up to wherever center is.
So mine's kind of a tight fit, so just twist it.
Yeah. Wiggle, push, and twist, but you want to make sure that most of your where you push is at the palm of your hand. That way you're not pushing on the top part here because that's what snaps.
Okay.
I have snapped many of these.
And if yours is like leaning like mine, don't worry, there is a base that will.
Yes.
It's just a little back heavy right now.
Yes. And the head, gluing the head and the hat on should help that. So that's what we're gonna go to next. So we got the body all together. We're gonna go ahead and glue our head on. So I am going to put the glue on the actual body. Let's do that. So I'm just gonna, and I'm going to take a good amount of glue. It's gonna look like a bead of glue on the sanded part on top here.
It's kind of like icing a cake.
Yes. This will give it a strong hold. And don't worry about using all of your glue in this little pod. You have 2 of them. So. Okay, so once you get a really good bead of glue, and I covered the entire surface of the top there.
Yeah, so
Just to make sure it's good and covered. And then I will take the head and I'm going to set it down on. And now when I go to set it down on, I face it towards me. Your beak is going to be centered with the center of the pumpkin. So that's how you'll get it to be straight. And you just want to make sure that all sides of that head is hitting all of the glue.
and if not, just add a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And you, again, that have some creative freedom here. So if you'd rather your turkey be facing a little bit different, you certainly can do that as well.
Absolutely. And I do want to mention, since Emily's is like kind of teeter-tottering, and since we just glued the head on, why don't you go ahead and grab your base here, which is this little light, and set that turkey on the light. That way, if it's like wibble wobbly, it'll help it to just kind of sit for you while this glue dries.
Give it a nice foundation.
Yeah. Perfect.
And you will definitely want to make sure that you don't glue that base in at any point, because you'll want to be able to change that light bulb out.
Yes, absolutely.
Which that light bulb is a amber 7-watt nightlight bulb. If you like the orange glow, that's wonderful. Some people like to take a nightlight bulb that is like a warm white. An LED bulb works really great too. So if that one would burn out, or if you would like a different color, it's a 7-watt bulb, and you can certainly change it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to have us glue on is our little wattle. To do that, just take our handy dandy Q-tip, dip it into your glue. And what I do is I will run this Q-tip just down underneath the nose. So I just take it, look underneath the nose, run a bead of glue down about an inch down, I would say, 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then I'll show you here actually. So that's all I do with it. And then I will take it and I'll stick it right underneath in the middle. And I push it down. Just like that.
And if you're like me and have a little bit of globs going on down there, that's okay because the raffia will cover that.
Yes. Okay. So then the last thing that we need to glue, if I'm correct, is our little hat. So what I want us to do is flip this hat over.
Okay.
If you flip the hat over, I can see a little ring that's on the bottom. If you can't see that ring, what I want you to do is take your hand and pull down onto the hat, onto the little flap, and then you'll see where the base of that hat is. There's like a little cardboard in there, like a cardboard, like tubing. And so you'll want to put your glue in, like you'll want to put it on that edge of the tubing and in the center that way, and put a good bit on there. Like I'm gonna have to take my other, just because all of your heads of your gourds are gonna be not flat, and so you want to just make sure that at least some portion of the hat will stick to that, to the head. So I just would put a good bit of glue.
Okay. Like icing a cake again, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Been doing a lot of that recently. My 2-year-old just wants to bake. So
Oh, that's cute.
Right. And I noticed that my head still has like a little stub of a stem, and that is okay because the hat is flexible and will kind of mold around that. So don't be concerned if yours also has that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to cut it or it should be good.
So we also have some other Zoom classes coming up. We will be releasing January classes in our newsletter this week. So stay tuned for that. I don't have samples or any information on those yet. But coming up December 12th from 6 to 8, we have Blizzard the Snowman scene. And that is a really neat piece. I wish I had the sample, but they're crafting it right now, and I couldn't steal it from them. But it is, you would be able to make a snowman gourd that sits on a wood biscuit base, and has a cute little sign, and it's just like a whole scene that you make on the wood biscuit base. So lots of little steps and neat things to put together. And that is $40. It will be closing soon, but we still have some spots left, that if you are interested in doing that one.
So I wanted to just show you how much glue I covered the bottom of my hat. And when you go to stick it onto your head, you just want to make sure that seam that we pointed out earlier when we put the berries on, you want to make sure that seam is to the back. And you'll just center it onto your head, and I would give it a good push just so it's good and tacked on there. Just like that.
I got him centered on my base.
Yes.
That's what that noise is.
And then that's all for the gluing that we have. The last step, the very, very last step that we have is to add this raffia on it. Our necks are not dry. So you'll have to just kind of let them sit. It's only 7 o'clock at night. So I would give it like 30 minutes, and you could go ahead and then tie this around, or if you want to just wait until the morning, you're more than welcome to wait until morning to tie it. But yeah, so that's the last thing that we'll
Yes.
have to do. And it's also to tie that on, I just take and wrap it around the neck, and it's just a tie. It's a double knotted tie, and there's no rhyme or reason. There's no really correct or wrong way to do it. So I feel comfortable and confident that you guys would be able to do it on your own.
So there are photos if you would need after, once it's dry to look at it online, and Amber's going to show you the sample. So we just tie as much as you would like. You get a nice bunch, but I don't think we would ever use all of this. So just as thick as you would like it, and then double knot it on. And then you can cut the edges to your liking. So if you'd like it short, that's perfect. Or you can keep it longer like this, whatever is in whatever you would like for your.
Absolutely.
So I would use, honestly, like maybe half of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think they packed so many because, like I said, on this original here, there is raffia around the hat. So you're more than welcome to use more of it and put it around the hat if you would.
Which in that case, you would just wrap it around and tie a little knot in the back and cut it short.
Yep. Does anybody have any questions? Because that is all we have left.
Oh, I see some turkeys that look really cute.
They look good. Nice.
Very cute.
They look so good.
Thank you guys. This was so much fun.
You're welcome.
Join us again. It's really fun. We love doing them. And like I said, there's going to be some really neat classes, I think, coming up soon. So
Yeah.
we're excited.
These look great. And the kits were so like well designed and like awesome.
And we're coming out with more kits next year too. So we're very excited about that. If you have questions about this project or any other questions, you can reach out to us at the email that Dory's email. She's one that emails you all of this information. You can email her, or if you message us on Facebook or on our website, those will come to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions as well. And I also answer most of the phone calls. So you're welcome to, call or email or message, whatever works, for you. And we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great.
How's everyone?
Well, thank you ladies so much.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.